G'day, Nath.
G'day, Chris.
Mate, do you love Ridley Scott's Alien as much as I do?
Of course. It's a sci-fi horror classic. It's as scary today as when it was first released.
What about Alien 2?
You mean Aliens? It's a James Cameron movie. It doesn't have a 2 on it.
No. I mean Alien 2. The one that comes before James Cameron's Alien.
That's not true. Aliens is the second Alien movie.
No. Alien is the first movie in the series. Alien 2 is the second. Aliens is the third. And Alien 3 is the fourth movie. You know, and it goes on from there.
I didn't know there was an Alien 2. There's an Alien film I haven't seen? Hang on. I'll go watch that now.
Well, did you enjoy that, Nath? Nath? You there, mate? Nath?
This is not a commercial announcement. I repeat, this is not a commercial announcement. The producers and distributors of this film advise against, I repeat, advise against anyone seeing it who is easily frightened.
He's still alive! Get that stretcher down here, quick! Get out the block and tackle him, set it up, right!
Welcome to CinemaBiosis, the show where we examine the strange connections that exist between certain movies and other media. And today, we're talking about Alien 2, Sulla Terra, otherwise known as Alien 2, The Monster of Earth, Alien Attacks Again, Alien, The Seeds of Horror Returns, The Monster Attacks, Alien Terror, Strangers, or Alien 2 on Earth, which is allegedly a direct sequel to Alien.
Oh, God, how many names does it need?
I wonder if James Cameron decided to go with the simplicity of aliens because of this.
Because everything else was taken.
And I must clarify, James Cameron has definitely seen this movie. He's even commented on it. So James Cameron once summed up his Alien sequel as 40 miles of bad road. I'm assuming implying, it's just things getting worse and worse and worse for the characters. But he described this Alien sequel as 84 minutes of bad, period.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe he was just being overly dramatic and in reality he actually liked it.
I call it bearing witness. I get to bear witness to a miracle.
The film's direction was credited to a Sam Cromwell, but was actually directed by Ciro Ippolito, who is best known for this film, and in general it's considered his magnum opus by many Italian B-movie aficionados. Would you say that's a good sign if this is considered his magnum opus? Nathan, are you keen to check out the rest of Ippolito's work?
No, the fact I'd never even heard of this before you mentioned it is a pretty sure sign I don't want to see any of his other work.
Mate, I'm getting a sense you didn't like this movie. Maybe you should have listened to the film's trailer.
The producers and distributors of this film advise against, I repeat, advise against anyone seeing it.
Well, I probably can see a lot of what he's got in this in some other films, because this is just stock footage. So much stock footage.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't crunched the numbers, but I would say out of the first 15 minutes, a good third of it is redubbed stock footage.
They even make a comment at the start where they say, oh, make sure you put a stock footage mark on there. Like, well, they mention the fact that it's stock footage.
We'll go inside the capsule now. Okay, that'll do. Make sure you superimpose the stock footage sign or the audience will think it's live.
Yeah, they acknowledge it in the movie itself. I gotta give it credit for the chutzpah to actually admit that it's mostly stock footage.
Oh, we're not fooling anyone. Yeah, we know. It's stock footage.
It's on which band? The God damn it, I told you to get that stock footage overlay card on this. Everyone's gonna think it's live, you schmuck.
I mean, it's cool that it's a little wink to the audience and that they're kind of acknowledging the fact that there's so much stock footage, but we're still watching a heap of stock footage. And I mean, we've already watched so much at this point. Do we really want to watch more?
No, thanks. I think that'll be all.
So, Chris, do you want to maybe explain what the plot of this movie is? Because I don't know what it is at all. I have no idea.
There was a plot?
Yeah, right?
I thought just a series of events occurred with no linking cause or consequence. But yeah, if I had to describe the plot in a way that made sense, I guess, some returning astronauts have disappeared from their capsule that's landed back on Earth in the ocean. And then also, coincidentally, there are some strange alien eggs that have fallen to Earth, but we don't really know why or how. And first we see a little girl find one, and the little girl is wearing a wig as if she's cosplaying as Tommy Wiseau.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Do you know why they decided to use that wig, Nathan?
Why is that?
Because they had to put something on the slab of meat they used to represent the girl after the egg hatches and she's attacked by the alien.
Yeah.
Come on, sweetheart. It's time to go home.
Look, to be honest, I'm surprised I'm struggling to explain the plot because nothing really happens in the movie. That's why there's so much filler, whether it be, stock footage or just long sequences of people driving from place to place, or, sometimes they will show people walking in real time.
No. I can tell you the plot, actually. It goes TV, beach. Oh, they knew someone who owned a bowling alley, so you go there a couple of times. Cave, end. No, you go cave, back to the bowling alley, end.
Yeah. You're right. Nothing really much happens. Look, we can sum it up with a bunch of people go cave diving, and there's an alien, and it starts killing them. That's about it. But lucky for us, because the plot is so thin on the ground, we do get some amazing, well-sketched characters.
Oh, I can't honestly remember any of them.
What do you mean? You don't remember Thelma, our lead? How would you describe her characterization?
She runs around kind of hysterical most of the time.
Yeah, she's not a very nuanced character, which is pretty disappointing considering, Ripley in the original Alien and how she progressed in the real follow-up Aliens. Credit where credit is due, though. She does confront the alien at the end of the movie and does defeat it with her telekinetic/psychic powers, which is apparently a thing everyone in the world of the movie just accepts.
Thelma's telepathic, and when something happens, she senses it, even at a distance. You feeling better now?
Yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Raymond.
Just take care of yourself. Goodbye.
And like a lot of things in this movie, the extent of her powers is very vague. We never really get much explanation on what they are or how they work. The closest we get is perhaps the scene with Peter, one of my favourite characters.
Peter!
Do you remember Peter, Nathan?
I was about to say, which one's Peter?
He's the main character's psychiatrist, or at least I assume so, because his relationship to her is never really fully explained. But he appears in that action-packed scene where we get to see him travel via rowboat in real time.
Yeah, the guy in the rowboat who doesn't have his shoes on, but then sits in the wet sand to put his shoes on in his fancy suit. I was like, what?
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense when you hear the advice he gives her when she says she's struggling with her powers. He essentially tells her to suck it up, princess, and get on with it.
Look, you're not the only one with problems. You've got to learn to live with them.
Yes, I know. If it happens again, what am I supposed to do?
Look, it's getting late and I've got to go. Sorry, honey.
I made a note at some point talking about how they all have no personality except they kind of act like children or they're assholes in some situations. So one of my favourite scenes, and it could be the highlight of the entire movie, is where this couple, who aren't the main couple, are just walking down one of the tunnels and they're using this sonar device that's, it's introduced solely to mirror a scene from Alien. So the scene where they're in the air vents, it's meant to be alluding to that.
Am I Claire Lambert? I want to get the hell out of here.
Oh, God.
It's moving right towards you.
And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this rat just jumps out of mist that's apparently only in that one shot. Why is the mist there, Nathan?
Why is a rat there? A rat's not living down in that cave that's got nothing in it.
True. I mean, I can tell you why the rat was there, which is we needed a jump scare. And I can also tell you why the mist fog was there. And it's because we had to hide, I wouldn't say the elaborate rig, but we had to hide the rig that was propelling that rat towards our victims.
Oh, was it? I didn't even notice.
But what I love about when that rat explodes out of the mist is that the girl's boyfriend literally only cares about the sonar device, even though she was just bit by this thing that could be a rabid rat. He's just like, is it broken?
Yeah.
Is it okay, huh?
The antenna's broken.
He does not give a damn. That's every character in this, is they only react in the way they need to react to service the moment. They don't have any characterization whatsoever.
No, none at all. Except there's an author.
How come you always type by candlelight?
Because the light it gives is sweet and romantic. And I'm inspired by it.
You know he's a serious writer because he drags his bloody typewriter down into the cave with him to work on the book.
Yeah.
Do you think, Nathan, based on that author character's dialogue, that maybe he's a stand-in for the writer-director himself?
Yeah, he's put himself in the movie.
Because everything I write is such garbage.
Maybe we should talk a little about the alien.
Yeah, well, the alien in general is nothing like the alien from Ridley Scott's Alien.
What do you mean? Comes from an egg? That's the same.
Comes from an egg. Bursts out of a person. It's the same thing. Of course. Sorry, I will be so wrong.
Don't you remember that scene in Alien where it turns into a giant rock?
Turns into a piece of salami and slides down a wall.
Is it a shapeshifter?
I don't know. That's the thing. Is it like a slug?
I thought it was a shapeshifter that turned into the rock face. Because the rock face was like crushing her and moving around her.
Like, well, has it just taken control of it?
Because later on it seems like the alien has actually possessed someone, almost like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
It's just what they had there on the day.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, we've got some meat left over from the little girl's head, just chuck it around the camera lens and we'll go with it. But honestly, that's one of my biggest problems with this film, is that there's no clear rules to the creature. And if you don't have clear rules, you don't have clear stakes. We don't know what's at risk. We don't really know what's going on. We just lose interest. It also doesn't help that I can't stop thinking about that stupid jumping rat and its dumb little face. I can't believe they thought that was as scary as the scene from Alien. Imagine that thing showing up in Ridley Scott's film.
Move! Get out of there! Don't you move! Don't! Move, Dallas! Move, Dallas! Get out! Oh. No, not that way! The other way! God! Dallas?
So some critics have suggested that the film's narrative is very, very similar to another horror film that came out in 2005. What do you reckon that would be, Nath?
The Descent?
Yeah, The Descent.
Now just, hey, give me a smile.
Juno, are you sure we're going the right way?
I've never been lost in my life.
There's only one way out of this chamber, and that's down the pipe.
What was that? I told you I saw someone!
Batteries on our lights will run out.
The Descent is directed by Neil Marshall, and I really like the film, and I think you do too, don't you?
I really enjoy a lot of Neil Marshall's films, other than his
Yeah,
latest
like
one.
Hellboy.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say Hellboy. As soon as I said that, I was like, damn it.
Now, the greatest irony of that comparison between The Descent and Alien 2 is that the director of this film actually tried to sue the producers of The Descent for stealing his plot.
Are you serious?
And it was completely unsuccessful.
So he missed the whole reason of The Descent altogether.
Yeah, because
just it had a cave with a monster in it.
Yes,
the familiar. Oh.
That's the only thing that's similar, is that people go cave diving and there's a monster. I find this so amazing when you also consider the very, very weird legal history of this film and how it was made. So essentially, the reason why this is Alien 2 is that the director of this movie decided one day when he went to a cinema just for a bit of a break from working on some other film he didn't really care about.
Oh, really?
And he was there. Yeah, this is the film he cared about. That's why it's his magnum opus.
Say who?
So the director of this movie, he went to the cinema to take a bit of a break from another film he was working on, and he ended up seeing a huge poster that was advertising Zombie by Lucio Fulci, which was, we call it Zombie, but in Italy was Zombie 2, which was an unofficial sequel to Dawn of the Dead, which was called Zombie in Italy. And he went, hold on a second, maybe I should make an unofficial sequel to something that's hugely successful. And he actually figured out that the Alien trademark hadn't been properly settled in a lot of Europe, including Italy. So he went and bought the trademark.
So that's why Aliens is called Aliens?
I think that's one of the reasons, is to get around this in its international release. So he could call it Alien 2, because he technically owned the trademark to Alien. After the movie was released, 20th Century Fox wanted to sue Ciro Ippolito. And yeah, I know. They were going to sue him for $10 million for using Alien in the title. However, there was another lawsuit in the past that pointed out that there was actually already media called Alien. So Ippolito won the case.
Wouldn't they have realised after watching the film, this man doesn't have access to $10 million?
Well, it's funny you should talk about Ippolito and his lack of money, or perhaps his lack of knowing how to use money, because one of my favourite pieces of trivia is as soon as he received the budget to make this film, he just spent a huge chunk of it on a new expensive car for him.
That explains a lot. Where's the creature?
Yeah. You know, they always say, don't show the creature, and he just drives off in his sports car. So, Nath, would you recommend this movie?
No.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that you would say no after all your intense praise for this film. Oh, look, I enjoyed it for what it is, which is an artifact of a very particular time in Italian B-grade exploitation cinema. I enjoyed the really kind of like dreamy aesthetic of it. Is it a great film? No. But if you know the type of film you're getting into, it's probably worth a watch. And you can pick it up for pretty cheap on Blu-ray anyway these days. I think it's an interesting film in many ways, but it's one of those films I think is really difficult to suggest to people, because if you just go to like someone who's like, I really like Alien, and you're like, have you checked out Alien 2?
You seen Alien 2?
They'll never talk to you again. It's only for your very like specific kind of B-grade film nerds.
Yeah, but if you want to experience it and you can't access it, just find some random stock footage, watch that, sit in a dark room for a while, then go bowling.
Alright folks, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter by clicking on the link in the description below. If you're after another discussion about the weird and wonderful world of good bad films, Nathan and I recently spoke about what is perhaps the most expensive fan film of all time, Resident Evil. You can find a link for that one at the end of this video. Until next time, stay safe and stay weird.